Welcome. Welcome to Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church, where we're going to let the good times roll today. This is an opportunity to celebrate the fact that we survived 2020. Now, I know you noticed that urn in the beginning. That's where you're going to throw all the bad times, all of the bad thoughts, all the bad feelings, and if you manage it, all the 30, as I call them, my 30-pound COVID weight, into the urn. Don't need to make a resolution, don't need to make a promise. Just take all that bad stuff and put it in the urn. Second thing we need to know, you got to be ready to dance. I welcome you to be in your pajamas and your casual clothes, whatever makes you comfortable, that you feel that you can get up and dance. Now, some people may not want to dance, but you can tap your foot. Enjoy yourself today. Enjoy the service and enjoy the new year.
Our names return 3 or 4 centuries to ancestors shipped here like sardines, saltwater Africans, coupled to Euro-English, Irish, French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. Our natives Choctaw, Homa, Natchez, or Alabama. Others far and wide. These families with roots like the live oaks firmly planted, then arms embracing and arching over like an umbrella against torrential wars, winds, diseases, disappointments. Bring our African selves and souls to echo from Cuba, Haiti, and all points Caribbean, Central American, to carve lives into New Orleans, Caribbean North, into neighborhoods like Gentilly, Sugar Hill, Treme, Palletland, so many others, resonating into celebrating births, baptisms, confirming cultural dances of sorrow songs.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our great covenant.
People get ready. There's a train coming. Don't need no baggage. Just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. You don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord. Yeah, yeah. People get ready. There's a train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key. Open the doors and board them. There's hope for all. Loved and the lost. Well, there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have pity on those whose chances grow thinner, for there's no hiding place from the king on his throne. Well, people get ready. There's a train a-coming. Don't need no baggage. Just get on board. All you need is faith. If diesel's humming, don't need no ticket. Just thank the Lord. Just thank the Lord. Just thank the Lord. You don't need no ticket. Just thank the Lord.
Blues, jazz, reggae, and burying our dead and rocking, home-going gospel celebrations with horse-drawn carriages of solemn dirges of grief, then handkerchief flying, trombone blasting, second-line dances celebrating a life well lived, so we can cry, smile, and continue masking until the next Mardi Gras. There's a whole lot of praying in between, the altar, candles lit and promises of faith, the novellas of devotion to our Lord, venerating saints like Anne, Joseph, and saving sinners, cleansing souls and blessing each day, each week, each decade, each century, the promise of better for generations to come.
Happy New Year. It is a new year that we have been waiting for, and it has arrived. And I suspect that many of us are familiar with New Year's resolutions. Maybe you even made resolutions before, maybe even already for this year. New Year's resolutions are all about our intentions for what we want this new year to be like, or what we want to be like as we end one year and start another. So it's a way of looking into the future and setting our intentions for what we want it to be like, right? I'm going to take a moment, though, this morning to invite us to think about what is behind us, too. I have something I'm going to show you in just a minute. It is a symbol that is from the Akan people of West Africa, primarily Ghana and the Ivory Coast. And it represents a word and an idea that feels really timely to me as we move into a new year, and it is what this morning's service is about. So I'd like to show it to you, and as you take a look at it, I wonder what you notice about this symbol. What does it look like? I notice a bird. And what do we see about this bird? Do you notice that its head is turned backward, and it's holding something or picking something up? An egg. Now, what do we think about an egg? An egg is something that will grow into new life in the future. And I wonder if you've already noticed anything about this bird's feet. They are facing forward, even though its head is turned backward. So this is a Sankofa. It is a word and a symbol used by the Akan people. It's from the Twi language of the Akan people in Ghana. And it translates to go back and get it. It is derived from words in Twi, san, return, ko, which means go, and fa, look, seek, and take. And it's linked to an Akan proverb, which is translated to, it is not taboo to fetch what is at risk of being left behind. So here is a bird with its feet firmly planted forward, reaching back to take an egg off of its back. And the egg represents gems of knowledge of the past upon which wisdom is based, and it signifies, too, the generation to come that would benefit from that wisdom. It is a moving forward by taking what is behind us and carrying it on with us. I'm wondering how many of us this morning have heard the famous quote attributed to Edmund Burke, "Those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it." Now that, in a way, is the idea behind the Sankofa, though Ghanaian culture takes it deeper than that, because not only do we need to learn from the past, it is okay, it is a good thing, in fact, to reclaim what may have been forgotten or what has been taken from you. In order to move forward, in fact, we need to bring with us the things from the past which are of value. And I think that might be particularly poignant for us to hold on to and think about and reflect on as we move out of 2020 and into the next year. Because this past year was so different than we expected it would be when it started, wasn't it? It was so challenging for all of us, in some ways which we all have in common, and some ways which are very, very different depending on our particular circumstances. And so I'm wondering, what is it that you learned in 2020 that is important to remember or to reclaim in order to be able to move forward as we leave 2020 behind with good riddance in some ways, yes? There is much that we are glad to leave behind, but I'd like to invite us to reflect on what is it that is at risk of being forgotten that you want to make sure gets carried forward with you into 2021. What needs to be gone back to and taken with us as we move ahead? So I'd like to suggest that we add to our set of New Year's resolutions some reflecting on what we will carry forward from our past that will help us become more truly ourselves, that will help us move forward into the new year we have all been waiting for.
Good morning, friends. Happy 10th day of Christmas and a joyful new year. My name is Carolyn Rogers, and I'm serving you today as a member of the spiritual care team. We are a trained group of volunteers, and we can provide a confidential listening presence for you. You can reach any of us via the spiritual care team phone number listed in the newsletter. And along with our assistant minister, Jametta Alston, we also provide Zoom opportunities throughout the week for keeping in touch. We also can provide individual driveway visits and phone calls. So each Sunday in December, we hosted listening booths. Some of you were there. This is a Zoom space for anyone who wants to share joys or concerns. You can meet in individual breakout rooms with one of the spiritual care team volunteers. Anything you share in a one-on-one meeting is held in strict confidentiality. These listening booths will be offered again on the fourth Sundays of each month, beginning in January now. So please call that spiritual care line if you have any questions or you want to share anything. Today we are gathered to let go of the pain and sorrow of the past year 2020, at least for this hour. And we want to welcome the anticipated joys of 2021. We hold all those who live in healthcare and retirement facilities. We know many of them have been confined to their apartments for health and safety reasons, and many suffer from the isolation and the inability to have visitors. Our longtime member, Lorraine Hart, has been moved from Elmcroft to a long-term facility with expectations that she will be returning to Elmcroft in the future. So let us hold in our hearts Lorraine and so many of our elders who have given us so much for so many years. May they know peace. May they also know the joy of those who love and care for them, who love and care for you, up close as well as at a distance. Now, there are those of you who are recovering from surgeries and illness, who are struggling with isolation and the fear of what the future brings. Please know we are here for you. Many of you do reach out and care for others. And we are all so grateful for every phone call and every food delivery. Your gifts of time and presence lift our hearts and give us hope. So in just a minute, we'll have a prayerful moment of silence. And today, just for now, we release the burdens of 2020 and we anticipate the joys of 2021. In this moment, you may want to speak the name of someone you've lost this year, or which is a step towards letting go. Or you can lift the name of something that gives you joy as we move forward together. In this moment, let's have a moment of peace. I want to share with you a prayer that I heard today. It's from Saint Teresa of Lisieux. May today there be peace within. May you trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith. May you use those gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content knowing you are a child of God, a child of the universe. Let this knowledge, let this presence settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It is there for each and every one of us. Amen. May it be so.
lay down my heavy load down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Lay down, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my heavy load down by the riverside.
Gonna study
Down by the war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Gonna study war no more.
I ain't gonna study war no more.
Ain't gonna
Study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more.
No, I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna put on my long white robe down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna put on my long white robe down by the riverside.
Gonna study
war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more.
I ain't gonna study
No war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more.
Good morning. Welcome to TVUUC. My name is Claudia Presley, and I'm the Director of Administration. Today is a Generosity Sunday. That means that all contributions that come in that are not marked as a pledge go to the General Operating Fund of TVUUC. The way you can give is to go to tvuuc.org/give, or you can text give to the number 73256, type in TVUUC and the amount that you would like to give. Once again, thanks for joining us and have a blessed day.
I went down to the St. James Infirmary, saw 2020 lying there. She was set down on that little wooden table, so tired, so weak, so spare. Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she can search this whole wide world over, and she'll never find another one like me. When I die, give me 6 crap-shooting pallbearers, and let a chorus girl sing me a song. Put a red-hot jazz band like this one on top of my head, so we can raise hallelujah as we go along.
Joy. Sankofa. Sankofa is a word from the Bono people of an Akan tribe that is found in Ghana and the Ivory Coast in West Africa. The literal translation means it is not taboo to fetch what is important and what is at risk at being left behind. It's important that you fetch the important things learned from the past. You do not dwell in the past. You don't relive the pain. You just take the lessons you need and bring them forward to make the next journey easier. Sankofa leads you to find the good in what has happened in your life and bring it forward to be used again and again to strengthen your family, yourself, and your community. So, be relaxed, hopefully in your pajamas, and celebrate that we have made it to 2021. Be ready to dance, be ready to weep, and be joyful that we have a new year to be mindful of our loves, our duties, and our responsibilities. So, Sankofa, I bring this to you so that we can address the horror, and they were horrors of 2020. And today, in this service, we are going to put it into the grave. Anything that you are feeling, any pain that you are hurt, anything that you need to get rid of, put it in the urn. And if you don't have an urn, put it on a piece of paper and rip it apart. And if you don't want to do that, you want it final, lose a match, light it up, and take care of the ashes. But I want you, in the comfort of your home, in your pajamas, relaxed with your coffee, cocoa, or tea, to think and remember the things you want to get rid of and get rid of them today. I researched that the top 10 events of horror, to put them in my fire pit to burn. And throughout this service, I'm going to keep encouraging you. Anything horrible for you, reduce them to ashes. In your mind, in your ashtray, in your garbage can. The events that we have shared and lived through in America are not what happened for others in other countries. Who remembers the locust and the killer bees and the bushfire in Australia that killed hundreds of animals and people and destroyed the land and property? The air pollution in Australia affected more than half the population. We here in America focused on Trump, COVID, Kobe Bryant, and the murder of Floyd, Mr. Floyd, who prompted people to protest the things that were happening in our country. Yet, throughout the world, there were hurricanes, cyclones, a volcano that killed over 6,000 people. The destruction that existed in our world was feeling never ending and unceasing. And it was a despair that was visited all throughout the world. Yet, folks, we are still here, and we gather today to praise the morning sun, to acknowledge the blessings, although they seem minuscule and fleeting. Too often, as humans, we want to view the disasters as the coming of the Lord. I don't go there with that. Instead, I view them as opportunities to strengthen our skills in empathy, in caring, in building and recreating what was before. The first step of anything that we must do, we must comfort each other and to pledge to continue to be a community of care. One of my favorite books that can be found in the Bible is Psalms. Now, Psalms is a book that reads like somebody's song playbook, documenting everything from tears, joy, victory, justice, and it discusses everything, including protection and comfort. It is attributed to many authors, yet King David is one of the ones who seem to have been the most prolific of all the writers. And we're all familiar with the Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd. Yet there are Psalms that allude to a higher authority as being the wings that protect us. Psalms from the Greek translation of Hebrew, Salah, is to play an instrument. Psalms invites us to find the song of our heart and sing it, and allow that song to hold us, comfort us, and prepare us for a better day. Let me put this in a modern context. Who's your favorite songwriter? What's your favorite song that brings you comfort? I recently discovered Blue Boat Home by Peter Meyer during our Blue Christmas ceremony. And in those chords, they struck an inner chord within me that gave me the peace and comfort I needed during that service and at that moment. I normally do go to Psalms to remind myself that I can take refuge in singing, in writing, and be still in this peaceful place with these writings. Be still under the wings of protection from destruction as it passes or subsides. Be merciful to me, O God. Be merciful to me. For in my soul I take refuge in the shadow of your wings. I will take refuge till the storms of destruction have passed by. Psalms 57, 1-2 recognizes that we need a place of refuge as the storms pummel us, hit us, throw us to the ground, overwhelm us. If we allow ourselves to be comforted and know that people love us, we get through. And this is the first step to healing ourselves. This specific psalm reminds me that I trust in a refuge provided by a Holy One. The storms will pass by, and I will be able to start again and re-enter the world. I will be able to rebuild and handle the grief. And further, I remember Psalms 23 that reminds us that we all walk through the shadow of death. We all are in that darkness, that deep darkness of depression, the fears of what tomorrow can bring. Yet, we are not to fear any evil because we will receive comfort. We are not alone in what we do, whether we find that comfort with each other, in community, with music, with a poem. Whatever we are, we find our comfort to know, not to be alone. So, let's look back. We're going to be like that Sankofa bird, that geese that is looking over their shoulder, taking that seed and bringing it forward. When we look to the past of a horrific event, it is difficult to find the joy or the lesson. We are blinded by our pain, the reaction of others, or the sheer unadulterated anger that masks our frustration, our humiliation, our perceived failures, our pain. But we can bring forward harvesting from this horrible devastation. Before we can review the past, we must first show love to ourselves and others and embrace the concept that love conquers all. Julian of Norwich, an English anchorite, believed that our lives are grounded and rooted in love. And without love, we may not live. She is the first known woman in the Middle Ages to have written about her spiritual experience. She believed that all will be well, and all manner of thing shall be well, as long as we remember that love centers us and grounds us. If we believe that no matter what happens in our lives, we can embrace the fact that all shall be well, because love is greater than all things. We need only go to the New Testament and find in Corinthians 13, love conquers all. Looking to see how we have each faced the past year. We all need to remember, how did we allow our love to manifest towards others who did not believe as we did? We need to look back to see if our love remained of how we treated people who decided differently than us. Then they decided to go to work. They decided to continue shopping. They decided not to wear a mask. How did we express our love and acceptance of them as children of God, yet understand that they too have the freedom of self-determination? And yet we had to hold to the fact that we couldn't follow their life decisions, but we could still see them with love. And in looking at the past, we realize that the seeds we bring forward, the seeds that we have gathered because they're important, we must reconcile with the people that we have been angry with, tired of, and distressed about. Looking back allows us to evaluate our strengths and our weaknesses in the times of trouble, and how to rebuild the fraying ties of our community to face that future that's coming. Looking back allows us to find the path of reconciliation on an issue that should not have been political in the first place, but yet it is. The reality is we must reconcile. Reconciliation is a process that draws on truth, justice, and mercy to turn temporary peace into a lasting one of ending a conflict. Desmond Tutu, who headed the Board of Reconciliation for South Africa, came up with 4 steps in order to have his country reunite, reconcile, and go forward to build together a new way of living. It requires admitting you're wrong and acknowledging the harm. 2, it's saying, what is your secret, your story? Tell me your story and witness the anguish. 3rd is asking for forgiveness. And most importantly, granting forgiveness. And the last step is understanding that we must renew our relationship or we will release our relationship. But whatever we do, renew or release, we have gone through the first 3 steps and seen each other as humans, as beings who love, who are different, but yet share the same space. Reconciliation is not about being cozy. It is not about pretending that things were other than what they were. Instead, reconciliation is based on the fact that you must accept the reality or it's not reconciliation at all. Quoting Archbishop Desmond Tutu, remember, reconciliation cannot be based on falsehood or not facing up to the reality. In the fact that we have looked back and we see what we've done, we're bringing it forward and we're going to see what we can rebuild and recreate and what will this world be like after COVID. Each of us has a seed to pick up when we look back in this past year. We can all find seeds of promise or growth or understanding from the past year somewhere by looking back and taking the treasure of knowledge, of hope. We will be honest in acknowledging our own faults and how to avoid judging each other in our pursuit of trying to live as one in our community, in our church, in our country. Once we have the seeds, we are charged to go forward, to plant, to nourish, and to maintain the call of justice, the duty of showing mercy, and expressing love toward each other in our community, our church, and our country. We are equipped with love to pursue and support what is right in our country, in our church, and in our community, with the lessons that we've already learned. And we must embrace that we are not alone, and that even if we believe we're alone, we're not. And we have to believe that and know that in this past year, we have survived the greatest grief, and we focused our being on doing good in the world. Howard Thurman is a theologian who I adore, and we usually quote his 2 poems at Christmas. But I want to bring them back into this moment, into the work of Christmas. The work begins now, as Howard Thurman said. He said, we have to find the lost. We must find the broken, and we must feed the hungry. We must release the prisoner, and we have to rebuild the nation and to bring peace among others. And lastly, to make music in the heart. So dance with me. Dance with me to celebrate the close of 2020 and the rejoicing that we have made it to 2021. Sing with me to bring joy to our hearts. Dance with me so that we have the strength of our bodies, our soul, and our hearts to challenge the future and to plant the seeds of peace, hope, love, and mercy that we have gathered from the past and that we bring forward to 2021 with joy. We have the opportunity today to start for the future, to believe in the future, to believe in community, to believe in love will conquer all, because we all need love, we all need care, and we all need to be reminded that together, and I say this, together, we can conquer anything out there, even the disasters, the devastation, and the energy that has surrounded us for the last few years. So, I send you out. Maybe not from your couch yet, but I send you out to destroy and throw away all of those horrible things that happened in 2020. Sweep those things out, throw them in the garbage, burn them, put them in the urn, and know they're gone. Don't go back to them. Don't revisit them. As I said, when you look back, you pick the seed, but you don't dwell in the past. Be mindful. Joy.
Saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. When Gabriel blows that golden horn. When Gabriel blows that golden horn. Oh, Gabriel blows that golden horn. And when the angels gather around, oh Lord, I want to be in that number. When the angels gather around, and when they're singing hallelujah, and when they're singing hallelujah, oh Lord, I want to be in that number. And when they're singing hallelujah.
Not hurricanes, not tornadoes, not torrential shifts can sway out such steady faith and love of God, family, community, firmly planted for centuries, Creoles who know how to live well and do daily. La joie de vivre ain't no big mati. Love always, committed to caring, one family, one block, one church, many Cubans, Haitians, Puerto Rican, Creole, cultures together, celebrating each one's crafts, teaching each one's generations grounded in this Crescent City landscape of camellia, bougainvillea, hydrangea, iris, sippy and pontchartrain clay with swamp, mosquitoes, and sunshine.
When Gabriel blows that golden horn.
Let people living in all lands declare that fear and pain are gone. Rise above differences and stand in love and understanding one.
So, you made it through the service, and now we are about to greet our neighbors. This is the time that you should pick up a phone. You can type an email. You can send a text. You can play some music that has the thoughts of a beloved one in your heart and your mind and send them thoughts that way. But this is the opportunity to greet your neighbor and to greet people in our lives and to say, we are with you. You are not in this alone. Have a good day and a good week, and hope to see you soon.
I went down to the St. James